Good afternoon, T-Wolves! Mr. Quentin here with what we did for today, Wednesday, January 20th, 2021. We have got two things that we did. Pretty easy stuff. One was the CNN 10, and two was a little condensing of our notes from yesterday into two slides. That'll be really easy for us to study going into our quiz on Friday and, of course, any subsequent test, all right? But I wanted to talk to you really quick about the CNN 10. CNN 10 is a little different now. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to quarter three. We're going to go ahead and go to our top folder here, week of January 19th, and jump on into Wednesday, where you will see that the CNN 10 is now a series of CNN 10s that is now a major grade. That's right, folks. So for our CNN 10s, we no longer have our sentence stems, which I told you about last week, but this is now going to be a series. So all of our CNN 10s for the whole quarter will become one major grade. Okay, so we're going to have about 9 opportunities to do a CNN 10. And as you know, you're up to now doing 7 to 10 complete and complex sentences. And so that is what we're going to be doing the major grade on. We're going to be looking at all of your CNN 10s over the next 9 weeks for the quarter. So that's what we're doing, okay? I don't want you to think you've got 9 major grades all coming in a row based solely on a CNN 10 video. It's going to be the series. So I'm not worried about your spelling on these, okay? Because I know that when we do these in class, that you only get 10 minutes to write. So I'm not worried about your spelling. All right, haven't been before, still am not worried about the spelling. What I am concerned with is that you give me a minimum of 7 sentences, all right? 7. That's what I need. And so you need to give me those 7 sentences, and they need to be good sentences. Now, it does say 7 to 10 sentences, so you're free to write more sentences, but I need a minimum of 7 sentences. Now, even though the sentence stems are gone, you can still write the same flow and same narrative. So you can absolutely give me, today's CNN 10 was about X, Y, and Z. I think that X is really interesting because I would like to do that when I get older. Y was pretty interesting too, though not as interesting as X. I didn't really find Z to be as interesting as the other two, but at least I liked watching them. You see what I mean? I didn't find this as interesting. I would like to know more about. You're still welcome to use that narrative flow, but the sentence stems are no longer there. You need to do that part on your own, okay? If you have questions, I'm happy to answer those questions for you. That's not a problem. And because they still have a due date of 11:59 or due time, whatever, of 11:59 p.m., if you need extra time after that 10 minutes, that's cool. You want to go back in later on in the day and finish those sentences? Cool. Go right on ahead. All right. Because it'll be a grade that gets entered into Skyward. All right. I'll be able to go back and see all your entries, and then we can work it from there. Okay. That's the big thing that I want you to take away from the CNN 10s. I need you to make sure 7 really good sentences at the minimum. Now, if you are just absolutely, I just can't do the CNN 10, Mr. Quentin, I hated it, that's cool. You can do the alternate prompt, okay? There will always be an alternate prompt, and instead you can do 7 to 10 sentences on the alternate prompt. That's okay as well. If one week you want to do the CNN 10 and the next week you want to do the alternate prompt, that's fine. If you want to do the alternate prompt every time or the CNN 10 every time, that's okay as well. As long as I've got 7 to 10 sentences, a minimum of 7 complete and complex sentences each time. And again, I'm not worried about spelling. Don't worry about having to fine tune that much. I want to see the effort in your writing. That's what we're looking for, okay? So that was the big one there. The next thing here that we have is your limited versus unlimited government definitions and examples. So all you're doing is you're taking everything from those 14 slides that we did yesterday when we talked about limited versus unlimited government. Remember, limited is good, unlimited is bad when it comes to governments. And you're just taking all that information and condensing it down into these 2 slides. And again, you're just providing the definition, those countries that are examples of unlimited governments, and then what is it like? Well, You can use those badges that we moved around and put into the columns. You could go to those last 2 slides and then look at those little scenarios that we talked about together in class to determine if something was from a limited government or an unlimited government. And you can copy them and paste them into here. It's to help fine tune those notes that we talked about yesterday and get them into something that's even easier to study if this is the way that you like to study for our quiz on Friday and subsequent tests. And you'll have one here for unlimited, you have one here for limited, okay? And if you want to see what it looks like, here you go. So here's mine, and I'll put it in present here so you can see a little bigger. So you can see how I did mine for unlimited, and you can see how I did mine here for limited, okay? And you can pause it and do what you need for that, because I took these directly out of the notes from yesterday. Okay, so that's all we have going on, folks. If you need, and then don't forget to submit both your CNN 10 that you did today and this as well. So you can just submit that CNN 10 and make sure that you submit this as well. And that's all you have to do, folks. If you need me, send me a note here in Schoology, send me an email. Other than that, I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Mr. Quinton, out.